The spotlight has been cast on opposition chief Raila Odinga about whether he has lost his grip of ODM. The unceremonious ejection of the party's executive director Raila and the subsequent attempted takeover by a section of the secretariat led by Wafula Buke without Odinga's consent and the approval of the party's National Executive Committee has cast doubts on the former premier's control at Orange House. Some party lawmakers whose loyalty to Odinga has been questioned have since gathered courage to publicly challenge him to take charge.
But because of poor management, it is running into a state of disrepair. The roofs start leaking, the floorboards start coming out, and even the tenants within start moving out, and the people outside who are potential tenants start thinking twice as to whether it would be very wise to move in as tenants.
But Odinga has sought to assert his authority and assure the party's supporters that the orange was still intact. However, his assurance may not lessen or take away the challenges the party faces, including rebellion that could have been catalyzed by the bungled national elections in February.
We want the register brought here.
A task force chaired by Jotham Nyukuri that was established in March to unearth those behind the aborted elections is expected to hand its report next week. A committee chaired by Fred Achok that was appointed this week to probe the forceful ejection of Margerel and claims that he's a Jubilee coalition mole is also expected to submit its report next week. These two reports could have significant consequences on the party's unity.
This report, the Men in Black report, being sent to us, it's just one of those things just to placate the public, in my view. My thinking, the Margerel incident was orchestrated by Raila Odinga. Men in Black was a project that had his fingerprints all over it. And we are still to see more of the Margerel Men in Black. And each time you see a pattern of that nature, that pattern has the name and the fingerprints of one Raila Molo Odinga all over.
The dissent in ODM could also be attributed to the vicious scramble for control pitting the youthful lawmakers against the old guards who are deemed close to party leader Raila Odinga. The young members of parliament blame senior party members such as Secretary General Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, Senators Otieno Kajwang', James Orengo and lawmakers Jacoyo Midio and Oburu Odinga of misleading Odinga and want a change of strategies ahead of the 2017 polls.
Some of these people now who are saying that Raila is too old, he should leave. I am convinced that without Raila, they would not be in parliament today. And we know who they are. Some of them, even if elections were called in their constituencies today, they cannot win an election. And these young people must be prepared to take over. But they cannot rubbish history. They cannot rubbish what has been done before.
There are issues of discipline, not in relation just to Margerel, but in relation to other members of the party who may have behaved in an unbecoming manner. That disciplinary process will go on.
The party will hold its National Governing Council meeting at the end of this month, giving indications that ODM delegates could be summoned to Nairobi early next month to pick the party's national officials. Francis Gashuri, Citizen Weekend.